Why perfectionism is a trap. Perfectionism, often lauded as a hallmark of high achievement and commitment, is, in reality, a finely woven psychological trap. It masquerades as a virtue, the drive for excellence, but beneath the surface, it is frequently a rigid, self-defeating mindset rooted in fear. This isn't about setting high standards, it's about demanding flawlessness, a standard that is not only unattainable, but also actively detrimental to progress, creativity, and well-being. To truly understand the trap, one must look beyond the gleaming, flawless facade and examine the intricate mechanisms that hold the perfectionist captive. Why perfectionism is a trap. Perfectionism, often lauded as a hallmark of high achievement and commitment, is, in reality, a finely woven psychological trap. It masquerades as a virtue, the drive for excellence, but beneath the surface, it is frequently a rigid, self-defeating mindset rooted in fear. This isn't about setting high standards, it's about demanding flawlessness, a standard that is not only unattainable, but also actively detrimental to progress, creativity, and well-being. To truly understand the trap, one must look beyond the gleaming, flawless facade and examine the intricate mechanisms that hold the perfectionist captive. The tyranny of the all-or-nothing mindset. One of the most insidious aspects of perfectionism is its insistence on an all-or-nothing dichotomy. For the perfectionist, there is no spectrum of success, only absolute triumph or catastrophic failure. A paper that receives an A is not seen as excellent work. It is viewed through the lens of the missing half point, confirming an internal belief in inadequacy. This black and white thinking paralyzes action. If the initial effort cannot guarantee a perfect result, the perfectionist often falls into procrastination. Why begin a novel if the first chapter won't be a masterpiece? Why launch a business if the logo isn't flawlessly designed? The fear of failing to meet the impossible standard becomes so intense that avoidance becomes the safest, albeit most self-sabotaging, coping mechanism. The trap here is that inaction guarantees zero success, while the pursuit of perfection guarantees pain. The drain on creative flow and innovation. The creative process is inherently messy, iterative, and imperfect. It involves drafting, revising, making mistakes, and following dead ends. Perfectionism, however, demands a clean, straight line from conception to completion. This suffocates the very nature of innovation. A perfectionist is often too quick to self-censor their ideas before they've had a chance to fully form. They edit in real time, shutting down a promising idea because a single sentence doesn't immediately flow perfectly, or a sketch isn't structurally sound from the first stroke. True originality requires vulnerability, the willingness to share something that is good enough and allow it to be refined by external feedback or simply by time and further reflection. The perfectionist cannot tolerate this vulnerability. Their identity is too intertwined with the flawless output. They would rather withhold a 90% brilliant idea than risk sharing a 60% complete version that invites criticism or suggests they are still learning. This ultimately leads to a portfolio of incomplete projects and stagnant growth, trapping potential behind an invisible wall of self-imposed editorial rigor. The erosion of self-worth and joy. Perhaps the most tragic element of the perfectionism trap is its relentless erosion of self-worth. For many perfectionists, the drive for flawlessness is not an external love of craft, but an external quest for validation. They operate under the belief that I am only worthy if my output is perfect. This places their identity on a precarious ledge where a single mistake threatens to topple their entire sense of self. This contingent self-esteem leads to chronic stress and anxiety. Every task, no matter how small, becomes a high-stakes performance review of their character. Finishing a project does not bring relief or satisfaction, but only a momentary reprieve before the anxiety focuses on the next inevitable task. The joy of the process, the learning, the effort, the satisfaction of a job well done is entirely overshadowed by the fear of falling short. The result is a life lived under constant internal scrutiny, where accomplishments are minimized, effort is dismissed, and true, uncomplicated joy is rarely felt. Breaking the golden shackles. Escaping the perfectionism trap is not about settling for mediocrity. It is about optimalism, the healthy pursuit of excellence. This shift requires fundamental changes in perspective and behavior. 1. Redefine failure. Shift the definition of failure from a terminal state to a data point. An imperfect result is merely information that informs the next attempt, not a verdict on one's personal capability or worth. 2. Embrace the MVP rule. Apply this business concept to personal projects. The goal is to get a functional, complete, and good enough version out into the world or into the next phase quickly. This breaks the inertia of procrastination and allows the learning process to begin. 3. Practice B- work. Intentionally start a task aiming for a B- or even a C+. This lowers the stakes and allows the person to get into the flow state, demonstrating that the sky does not fall when the first attempt is not perfect. Often, the B- effort is actually quite good and can always be elevated later. 4. Decouple action from identity. Consciously remind yourself that I am not my work. A poor presentation does not make you a failure. It makes the presentation less effective. Separate the deed from the doer. Focus on process goals, e.g., I will spend 2 hours writing today, rather than outcome goals, e.g., I will write a publishable chapter today. Perfectionism promises safety, but delivers stagnation. It promises success, but delivers crippling anxiety. It is a beautiful cage, but it is a cage nonetheless. The key to unlocking genuine high performance and true satisfaction is recognizing that finished and imperfect is infinitely superior to flawless and unattempted. The only path to mastery is through a massive volume of work that is inevitably filled with necessary, instructive mistakes. If this deep dive into the hidden costs of chasing flawlessness resonated with you, show us some love. Hit that like button to spread the word that good enough is often great. Drop a comment below and tell us which perfectionism trap you struggle with most. Your experience could be the insight someone else needs. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content designed to help you break free and maximize your authentic potential.